With the holidays coming up, and there's a lot of users that are debating if they should upgrade their current smartwatch. If they happen to own an Apple Watch, you might be debating between the SE2, the Series 8, and of course the Apple Watch Ultra. So if you're debating and deciding on which one you should get, don't worry, I have your back, as I literally have every single brand new Apple Watch that got released of this year, and we're gonna go ahead and cover all the pros and cons, the big differences, battery life, overall performance, and my user as a consumer first-hand experience after owning these devices and switching between one Apple Watch to the other, to give you a proper feedback to make your Apple Watch buying experience pleasant and making sure you select the right one for you. So let's go ahead and begin. So let's talk about price differences and different screen sizes. The Apple Watch Ultra starts at $799 and cellular is standard. And then the Apple Watch Series 8 starts at $399 for the entry-level model, which is the smaller 41mm. The model we have here is the 45mm, and this is about $30 more, as this retails for $429. Then with the Apple Watch SE2, this starts at $249 for the small 40mm, which we actually do have our hands on, and for the larger 44, it's just $50 more, so it's $299. Between the SE2 and the Series 8, literally it's just $150 difference. And the quick overview between the Series 8 and the SE2 is basically this. The Series 8 has the new Apple Watch display with a more curved edge-to-edge display, which makes some watch faces makes it look like it's a infinity display. Meanwhile, the SE2 is using the older generation display. Now, hardware-wise, the Series 8 does have a built-in ECG, new body temperature sensor, blood oxygen sensor, and it has the LTPO hardware. In other words, the Series 8 supports always-on display. Meanwhile, the SE2 does not. But the always-on display is debatable. I personally know a few people that have a capable Apple Watch with the always-on display hardware. They choose to turn it off. So in a sense, the always-on display can technically be just a gimmick. Aside from that, similarities between the Series 8 and the SE2 is internals, as both of these Apple Watches are sharing the same S8 chipset that's found on the Series 8 and even the latest Apple Watch Ultra, which is said to be 20% faster compared to the older SE Apple Watch, and the same storage capacity that's found on the Ultra and the Series 8 is also found on the SE2. So all three of these Apple Watches have 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Now the Ultra only comes available in a 49mm display, and this is how it basically looks like on my wrist. It only comes available in titanium, and this silver-like texture is the only color available for the Apple Watch Ultra. Now I have seen some people actually take their Apple Watch Ultra to get it professionally polished, and it looks like this. Not bad, so there's this additional option you could actually do. However, there's three available band choices to choose from. You have the Alpine, the Trail Loop, and the one I have here is the Alpine, which actually has a titanium locking mechanism down here. Now this band comes available in three band sizes to choose from: small, medium, and large. The one you see here on my wrist is a medium. Now there has been this debate all over the internet saying that this little latch on the Alpine is said to cause damage to the Apple Watch. From my own personal experience, I don't see this. You can take a look right here. There's literally no scratch marks here and there that's been caused by this hook. So if it hasn't happened to me, it's unlikely it's gonna happen to you. But you should make sure you get the correct band, which Apple provides the measurements right here so you can measure yourself before you purchase your Apple Watch. Now, if we flip the Ultra in the backside, you do have access to 4 functional screws. However, they do not give the user access to the battery pack. That would have been nice. From the research I gather from iFixit, they prove that it's a hassle to get the battery out. You're at risk of damaging the display, as well as making your Apple Watch no longer water resistant if you actually go ahead and try to export the battery. So replacement on the long term is impossible and very challenging. So unfortunately, these screws are only here to help increase the water resistant rating, which it successfully has, because out of all the Apple Watches available in the market, this one's the only Apple Watch that can actually survive up to 100 meters submerged underwater. Meanwhile, the Series 8 and the SE2 are only rated up to 50 meters. Now, more about the Series 8. The Series 8 comes available in 5 color choices to choose from. If you go with the aluminum body, product red is also included. If you like to step it up, you can also purchase the stainless steel Apple Watch, which comes available in 3 color choices to choose from. Now, new this year is the Nike edition is indeed no longer available, as all the bands are all available across all the other Apple Watches. If you want the Nike band, that's no longer exclusive to the Nike edition. But the only edition that's still currently available for the Apple Watch series side is the Hermes, which is more expensive than the Ultra. But this is more focused for the luxury enthusiasts. And then as for the SE2, only comes available in aluminum and comes available in only 3 color choices to choose from. Now, even though the SE2 is using an older display found on the previous generation Apple Watch models, from a far distance, when you compare it against the Series 8, it still looks like a modern day Apple Watch. So don't let this screen discourage you from purchasing this Apple Watch. In reality, it's really hard to tell the difference. But when it comes to fitting more text in a single screen, that's when you can see the differences right here, as you can fit a little bit more on the larger 45mm. But you do lose the keyboard functionality that the Ultra and the Series 8 has. But you could download third-party apps on the SE2 if you really need a keyboard to type and reply to text messages. One that I personally recommend is FlickType. I'll have a link in the video description down below. You could download it on the SE2 to allow you to have keyboard functionality when it comes to replying to text messages. Now, other new changes for the SE2 is the backside. It actually has a plastic texture that Apple is using a fancy name for. They're calling it nylon composite, which honestly feels great. It's really smooth and reminds me a lot like silicone. But aside from that, if we look at the backside of the Series 8, it's using a ceramic back. Now, the SE2 and the Series 8 aluminum body are using Apple Ion X Glass, which is a similar material that Apple has been using on their Apple Watches for a long time. From my overall experience, it's fairly scratch resistant and challenging to really crack. It's very similar to like what Android phones have with Gorilla Glass. And when you compare it against the sapphire crystal display that the stainless steel Series 8 or even the Ultra has, the rating is just off by 1. As Consumer Report rated that the X Glass that the Apple Watch has is rated 7. Meanwhile, the sapphire is just rated 8. So they're not too far apart whatsoever. However, recently with the release of the Series 7, Apple did market this display to be tougher than ever before. So this new display is far more resistant than ever before. So durability wise, the Ion X glass that the Apple Watch comes standard with is very resistant and durable. That's found on the SE2 and the Series 8 aluminum body. Now, when it comes to battery life, the Ultra is the only one that's able to last longer than 2 days. As me personally, I came close to having 3 days under a single charge under normal usage. So battery life is rated to be able to last up to 36 hours, but on a good day, you can probably get more. And if you like to step it up a notch, if you enable low power mode on the Apple Watch Ultra, a single charge can allow this Apple Watch to last up to 60 hours. Meanwhile, the Series 8 and the SE2, from my personal experience, there's no difference here whatsoever. Both of these battery lives are 100% identical. So they're easily able to last up to the 18-hour battery life. Thanks to that new low power mode, if you enable this, both of these Apple Watches can easily achieve up to 36 hours under a single charge. Now, in terms of the display, the Apple Watch Ultra is the brightest display here that Apple released, as it's literally 2 times brighter than the SE2 and the Series 8. And from an outdoor environment, in direct sunlight, I have noticed that the Ultra is extremely visible, much more visible than ever before. Whereas the Series 8 and the SE still is fairly visible, but sometimes I do have to cover my Apple Watch to give myself a little bit of shade to really see the notification that comes up on my display. And then, although the Ultra has a flat sapphire display, this is done for a good reason, as the titanium body that wraps around it protects it, allowing this Apple Watch to be more resistant, more durable than ever before, as it's no longer prone to easily get cracked if it lands on an edge, since the titanium body protects it. But once more, it's the Ultra and the Series 8 that actually has the always on display hardware. Now, other exclusivities can be found on the Apple Watch Ultra, as the Ultra actually received the new Wayfinder watch face, which actually does allow you to enable night mode by simply rotating the digital crown upwards. This is supposed to help maintain your night vision. But now, in terms of safety features, all of them actually have the common safety features, well, the most important ones in my opinion, because all 3 of these actually have the new crash detection, fall detection, quick access to SOS, you're able to display your medical ID, but it's the Ultra that actually received the brand new siren, as it does have a dual speaker setup, and thanks to the setup, the Apple Watch can go up to 86 decibels if you actually enable the siren feature. Now, most videos actually will show you the siren features indoor. The Apple Watch is smart enough to detect that you're indoors, but if you're outdoors and you enable the siren, the speaker will actually get louder and will actually reach the 86 decibel max. That can actually be heard from 400 feet. Now, in terms of health features, all three of these Apple Watches have a heart rate sensor, which will constantly monitor your heart rate, track your calorie you have burned, also has track stepping capabilities, and will also use the heart rate sensor to monitor your sleep, as all three of these can do sleep tracking. And will give you a heads up if the Apple Watch notices an unusual heart rhythm. So we'll actually warn you ahead of time that you should probably seek medical attention if your Apple Watch detects an unusual heart pattern. And if you do receive this message, this is when the ECG that's found on the Series 8 and the Ultra can actually help as it can gather more data. But regardless, if you ever see this notification, you should probably get a hold of your doctor and schedule something. Aside from that, only the Series 8 and the Ultra have the new body temperature sensor, which is primarily focused for women's health, because with the new body temperature, it's able to have a much more higher accuracy for cycles and can gather much more details. And then of course, followed by you have blood oxygen sensor built in on both of these devices. So unless you're a real number freak or this data is crucial for you, that makes a big difference if the Series 8 or even the Ultra is a better choice for you. So out of all these Apple Watches, this one has the best microphone and speaker. Here you can take a listen and hear for yourself.
And the microphone quality sounds like this. And you may have noticed that I do have the Series 8 band on the Apple Watch Ultra, as because it's compatible. But this one, out of all of them, has a clear microphone and has a clear speaker as well. And this is the Series 8. It's going to sound extremely similar to the SE2. As you hear right now, this is the Apple Watch SE2. Not too far apart compared to the Series 8. But the Ultra, massive difference.
When you put all three Apple Watches on the flat surface, the Ultra isn't really that much far apart. Yes, compared to the Series 8 and the SE2, the Ultra is definitely bulkier, or thicker I should say. Thickness wise, they're not really too far apart. And then the Apple Watch Ultra is the only one that comes with a braided Apple Watch charging puck, something awesome that I want to quickly highlight. And all three of these Apple Watches are using the latest Bluetooth 5.3. And for my AirPod video test, I tested out their Bluetooth range, and the difference between 5.0 and 5.3 is just a better range and more stability in a farther range connection. But in terms of performance against all three of these Apple Watches, they feel 100% identical. Then an additional note I do want to go ahead and highlight, even though the Apple Watch Ultra is extremely big, don't let that discourage you from purchasing one, because if you're really an outdoor adventurist, the amazing battery life and the siren feature and such makes this an excellent tool. So if you're more concerned about looks and stuff, I would suggest looking into a Rolex or the Herman Series 8 Apple Watch, because this is a tool, not really much of a fashion statement. If you're concerned about wrist size, easily the Series 8 and the SE2 are likely to fit your wrists, as they do come available in a smaller size choice to choose from. And then all three of these Apple Watches do support sleep tracking if that's something you want to know as well. So in summary, if you want the best of the best and you really like that battery life, honestly, the Apple Watch Ultra is my go-to in terms of being the ultimate day-to-day Apple Watch, due to the fact that it's built for adventures but made for daily use. As I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are going to utilize this Apple Watch to its full potential, but the fact that it has all this amazing hardware, it's really sturdy and resistant, it's just built like a tank. I'm pretty sure this is the Apple Watch that I can see a lot of people buying, because these are the type of people that don't upgrade their Apple Watch until 4 or 5 years later. So this Apple Watch is built like a tank to definitely last a long time. Now for the Apple Watch Series 8, unless you're a woman, the Series 8 was kind of a disappointment in terms of new upgrades and integrations. So if you're a guy, there's no way to really utilize the new body temperature sensor. So you might be better off purchasing the Series 7 Apple Watch, which you could actually find on sale still brand new on Amazon for a hefty discounted price. Because aside from that, there's not much of a big upgrade from the Series 7 to the new Series 8. And then the SE2. This is by far the best value Apple Watch available in the market, as it basically offers all the important features that the new Apple Watch has, like the crash detection, the fall detection, a heart rate sensor, and the brand new S8 chipset. So long as you don't need the ECG, the blood oxygen sensor, or the always on display, the SE2 may be the Apple Watch that will be best suited for all. And it's especially useful if you like to use the kids mode for your child, because it's inexpensive. It's $50 more if you need the cellular version. So instead of buying your kid an iPhone, the Apple Watch, which doesn't require them to have an iPhone, it could be paired to the parent or legal guardian device. And this will allow you to actually monitor your kid at school and allow them to get a hold of you in case they need you for an emergency. So that's one of the cool advantages that the SE2 has. It's just that amazing price tag. So there you guys have it. Hope you found this video very informative and useful. If I helped in any way, I'll greatly appreciate it if you actually leave this video a like, as those help me out a lot, and get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. Be sure to keep an eye out in the video description down below, as there's a bunch of sales constantly going on, especially during the holidays of the Apple Watch, especially on Amazon. So I've been finding some excellent deals on even the Series 8 on Amazon, literally a couple $20 or $50 off. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more, check out this video over here as I cover all 100+ hidden features that you could do for the Ultra, and then I have the one over here for the SE2. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.